Today I'm going to be showing you how to do corner to corner crochet. We're going to be making a bunch of blocks that will then crochet together to make a blanket. We're going to start off with the small corner. Okay, so we'll be working from one stitch, increasing all the way up to here, and then we'll decrease down to the other corner. Okay, this block does have a crochet edging, so you don't really have to worry about carrying your yarn up the side seamlessly, because you're going to crochet over the edges and then you won't be able to see if you had carried the yarn up. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to start your corner to corner. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our first color and going to start like normal with a slip knot on our crochet hook. You don't have to leave a very long tail, but you do want to leave a little bit so that you can weave in. And the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be chaining 6. Okay, and then they want you to work a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So we don't count the one that's on the hook. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to go into this guy. And it doesn't really matter if you go through one loop, through both loops. You just kind of want to be consistent. So we do 1 single crochet and we're going to do, 1 double crochet, and we're going to do 2 more doubles. And then we're going to do a last double. And this is the basis of all the corner to corner blocks. So you're going to have, by going into the 4th chain, we actually created a chain 3. And then we have 3 double crochets. So that's our first one. So now we have to make the second block. So we're going to do this again. We're going to chain 6 again. Now, the instructions tell you to turn at this point, but I find it's a little bit easier to crochet into the chains if I haven't turned. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go into the 4th chain from the hook, and we're going to do a double crochet. And then a double crochet in each of the next 2 chains. Okay, so now at this point, it can get a little confusing. So what we're going to do is now we're going to turn, and it's easiest to turn the first one. So we're just going to flip it so that it goes away from us. Okay? And then we are going to slip stitch into this chain 3 space. So the very beginning, we're going to slip stitch. Okay, and try not to move the work once you've slip stitched, because then it gets confusing as to where you're going. So we need to make another triangle, because the first one had 1, the second row is going to have 2, the third row 3. We're increasing by 1 each row. So now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to do 3 double crochets into the chain space. So this is pretty cool because we're not going into a stitch, we're just going into a space. Okay, and you can see we've made like a little ladder. So now the first row is here with 1, and then we have 2. And this is pretty much the same thing we're going to be doing. We're going to be repeating this next row. So we're going to start off chaining 6 again. And then I like to not turn, so we're going to work a double into the 4th chain from the hook, and then 2 more double crochets. And then we do the last one. Okay, actually it looks like I went into the wrong stitch. If you tell from here, you can see how there's not really a whole lot of space here. That means I went into the wrong chain. So I'm just going to undo this, and I'm going to go one chain further down. Okay, so I'm going to go into this one. So we're going to do the 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to turn. So again, the work, we're just going to flip away from us, and then we're going to slip stitch into the chain 3 space, chain 3, double crochet 3, and then do it one more time. Okay, because we have one more that's unworked. So slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets. Okay, so you're going, for this particular pattern, you're going to continue in this manner until you have 5, I like to call them steps, okay, but they're 5 blocks, okay, and then we're going to change colors. So I'll show you how we're going to change color. Okay, so I have almost completed the last block. So you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is my 5th one. So I've done the chain 3, I've done 2 double crochets, and I'm going to show you how we're going to change the yarn now. So we're going to wrap around and bring up a loop and go through 2 loops just like we've been doing. At this point we're going to cut our yarn, and again you want to leave a nice size tail, but it doesn't have to be too long. And then we're going to grab our next color, which this one is actually the main color of our blanket. And then we're going to finish the crochet stitch with the new yarn. And then we're going to continue doing what we've been doing. So we're going to chain 6, do the same little square that we've been doing. Okay. And then you can just leave your tails here. You can tighten them up a little bit, but you can leave them there. And then what I did was, as I crocheted my border around, I crocheted over the tails. And then I just cut them. So that was how I weaved them in. So you don't really have to spend a lot of time weaving in your ends on this project. So I'm going to go ahead, and we did our first one. So we're going to turn, and we're going to continue on in this manner. So for the next couple of color repeats, it's 2 rows per color. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next 2 rows in the gray, and then I'll show you a way that you can bring up the color without it showing too much, okay? But like I said, we're going to be crocheting along the edges, so it really doesn't matter. So let me do the next 2 rows, and then I'll show you how to add the next color. Okay, so I'm up to the last block. So to change the color again, we're going to go in and almost complete the full block. So I'm going to do 2 double crochets, and then I'm going to stop halfway through the 3rd one. So we go through 2 loops and then stop. Now the gray color, or the main color, is going to be used another time in the block. So I'm not going to cut the yarn. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the next color. Okay, I have a little ratty end, so I'm just going to cut that off. And then we're going to pick up the color, the new color. Now, the way that I can bring the gray color up, we're going to chain 3 of our 6. Okay, and then I'm just going to loop the gray up, and I'm going to continue chaining 3. Okay, so you see how it kind of made a little line over here? Now you don't have to do this because like I said, we're going to crochet over the edges. But if you want to make it a little seamless, this is what I found. So now as I do my 3 crochets, I'm going to catch that thread in the back and crochet over it. And then I'm going to catch the next one. And then the last one. And then you can kind of pull the tail and you'll see how it's pretty hidden. Okay, we've crocheted over it. Okay, so that's a way that you can change color. So you'll go through and you'll do your 2 passes, and then your gray yarn will be right here for you to pick up. So you're going to continue in this manner. So basically we're increasing at the beginning and we're increasing at the end. And you're going to do this for our section. So we did the first one, then 2 rows, and then once we get back to our main color again, after we do 2 rows of that main color for the second time, we're going to decrease. So we'll come back in the next video and I'll show you how to decrease.